May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. Today is both Veterans Day and we are celebrating Stewardship Sunday, in which we're asked to give of our time, our talents, or our gifts, and our treasure. But I can't let Veterans Day go by without mentioning the men and women who have served our country. Talk about stewardship. Some have put their lives on the line for our freedoms. Many believed in something, as we do, greater than they. The right to freedom, human rights and dignity for all. And they valued those who were against oppression and civilian violence. That's why we got into some of our wars, for what we believed. That's how we got into World War II, because of the massacre and the internment of the Jews. It wasn't our war to do, was it? And yet we had men and women die there because they believed in something greater than who we are as individuals. Some have sacrificed all. Some of those folks never came home. And some families, every once in a while, still wonder, what if? Stewardship Sunday is about choices. To care for each other, to care for our church. Make sure as you're going out that you read what's on our outside of our building, the Be the Church motto from the UCC. To reject racism, to protect the poor, to care for our environment, to love God, to have fun, are just a few of those values that we in the United Church of Christ hold dear. Stewardship Sunday is about our building and our organization. How do we care for it? How do we care for our earth? I don't know if every one of you know that the administration committee came to a guideline that we will, in the future, phase out all of our styrofoam because we're trying to protect the environment. Because that's important. Because we want this building and this church to be not just for us, but it wants to be for our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren. And as Phil said last Stewardship Sunday, for those in another 275 years. We need to be good stewards of our world. Do we have everything and many have none? That's the fact. We have the majority of the riches in the world here in the United States. And some people have none. We have hunger in our streets. We have people who are homeless. Not because they're bad people. Not because they're bad people. There's no moral judgment there. Some people have medical issues that just keep them from thinking and making good choices. Because it's all about choices. Some are easy, and some are difficult. Like especially here in church, loving that person who really bugs us. That's hard, isn't it? And yet sometimes you need to, because we get along quite well in the church, but there are some that really can get under our last fingernail. Right? But it's letting God love them through us. And understand that they too are children of God. And understanding that we might bug somebody else just as much. So maybe we would like that grace and love given to us. We had a youth group picnic last summer. And I don't know what happened, but I thought the overnight was this past Friday night So I was leaving messages for Kim that you can't go upstairs and you can't do this. And then I'm calling you can't even be up there. And then she told me it was last week, and it felt like a complete fool. I missed the Halloween party. But one of the games that I brought to the picnic, and actually it was quite a good success. It's called Would You Rather. Does anybody know that game? If you do, yeah, raise your hand. Well, it's a funny game, and they have it for different ages. But essentially what you do is you're asked the question, would you rather? And you've got to answer with a response, A or B. And you have to say why. And what it does is it gives you a glimpse into how people think. So, would you rather have 10-inch eyelashes or have eyebrows that grow around your entire face? That's the kind of questions, you know? Would you rather wear wet jeans for 6 months, or have a cold drop of water hit your back, drip on your back for an entire year? Would you rather wear the wet jeans? I mean, and remember, think about how this, you'd have to kind of figure it out because you've got to answer. And we had so much fun, and I think Kim was going to get the cards. Had a lot of laughter, different, oh, I wouldn't do that, or oh yeah, I'd do that because of this, you know? So I'm going to give you some more adult would you rathers. You can't pick both, okay? So would you rather have lots of friends who you can have a good time with, or have a few trustworthy and deep friendships? Don't answer me, just which one? Think about it. Would you rather be known for your extravagance, or be known as loving and generous? Which one would you pick? Would you rather give out of your abundance to the church, or would you rather sacrifice that Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts coffee so that you could give it to the church? Would you rather, this is a good one, would you rather have a good reputation, or would you rather have integrity? Would you rather do something perfectly, or would you rather do something well? Another one that would be interesting. Would you rather have lots of money, or would you rather have good health? Would you rather never grow old, or learn life's joyous and hard lessons? Now you understand how the game works. Now, these weren't really disgusting ones, because usually in Would You Rather, they're really disgusting things. So let's get back to Mark's passage. Because he sees the scribes come in with their nice clothes. They take the best seats in church and banquets. But they do so on the backs of the oppressed. The rich give out of their abundance, and the widow sacrifices to give everything she has because of her faith and trust in God. As you determine your pledge for 2019, what I want you to do is prayerfully consider what we've just spoken about. But I want you to also include these 3 things. I want you to prayerfully think about, what kind of a church do you want to be? What kind of a pastor do you want to attract? And if you looked at my tie notice, you'll know that what you want to do is increase your attendance, not necessarily your membership. People don't like to be members anymore. Prayerfully think about this and how you use money and how you use your time. I think in the Thai article from John Zering, it was talking about, you know, it's great to invite people to church. It's wonderful. It's the best way to get people here. But if you sit with them and maybe you take them out to breakfast after, it may cost you what, $6 for breakfast? $10 maybe? But that person might feel more welcome and come back. So what kind of a church do you want to be? What kind of a pastor do you want to attract? How can we bring in people who will thrive as you have done in the love of God and the love of Jesus? And prayerfully consider how much you want to give. Because remember, stewardship is not just money. It's your time and your talents. How much do you want to give of yourself to missions and practical help to this community? Because we know the community needs help. How do we use our time? How do we use our talent? Can we forego that 99-cent Coke or ginger ale or Pepsi or whatever? I want to be equal opportunity. It's not a PR campaign for the soda. But can you forego that one soda a week and give $1 a week to the church more? Think about it. Because we know that we have some difficult times. We've got a church upstairs that we know is going to need some remediation. We've done some incredible improvement. We've painted. We've got new furniture in the ladies' parlor. We've got new pew cushions. You guys have been working tremendously. We've got a brand new stove that's going to be all set. A day too late, but it will be all set. Think about how you use your money as well as your time. And prayerfully think about that. Don't just write down a number because that's what you did last year. Think about what can you do this year. Knowing that we know that if you become unemployed, we're not going to hold you to that. Or if you get a raise, you could give us a little extra if you want. We're not going to turn that down. But give your best guess in it, because those pledges help us plan for the year. And if we want the church to grow, we're going to need to invest in that. And not just in our building, but in how we work with our new members or those new people who come to us, and how we work in the community. Amen.